be the talk of the court for months. We should take you dancing more often.
It's a relief to do something other than fight demons and horrors.
You still face demons and horrors. These ones are simply better dressed.
Were you dancing with Duchess Florian?
More importantly, what happened in the servants' quarters? I heard there was fighting.
I hope you have good news. It appears the peace talks are crumbling.
Morrigan helped me get into the servants' quarters, where I found a group of Venatori, and Gaspard's dagger.
The man would truly do anything to become Emperor.
Then, the attack on the Empress will happen tonight.
Warning Celine is pointless. She needs these talks to succeed, and to flee would admit defeat.
Then perhaps we should let her die.
You have an idea, Leliana?
What Corypheus wants is chaos. Even with Celine alive, that could still happen. To foil his plan, the Empire must remain strong. This evening, someone must emerge victorious.
And it doesn't need to be Celine. She's right.
Do you realize what you're suggesting, Leliana?
Sometimes the best path is not the easiest one.
You're asking me to decide what's best for Orlais?
More than that, whoever controls the Imperial throne will affect all of Thedas.
You cannot stop Corypheus without a decision. You must support someone, or all is lost.
Then we should support Celine. She is the rightful ruler. Why would we say otherwise?
Because she led Orlais to this point. I say Gaspard, provided his sister is wrong about him.
I would suggest Brialla. She could bring true peace, not only to the Empire, but also to its elves.
This is, however, your decision, Inquisitor, not ours.
I can't decide this. Not yet.
You must. Even inaction is a decision, Inquisitor.
You could speak to Celine in the ballroom, but she won't act. Not without proof.
If Gaspard is guilty, he'll admit nothing. If he's innocent, he knows nothing. We need the truth.
What did Duchess Florian tell you?
She said Gaspard's mercenary captain is in the Royal Wing, that he knows about the assassination.
Which could be a trap.
Or a lead. Either way, you should search the private quarters in that wing for clues.
Then get me access, and in the meantime, get your soldiers into position.
At once. Be careful, Inquisitor.
We meet again. Given any thought to what I said?
What exactly would the Inquisition get by moving things in your favor?
My spy network doesn't span just the Dales, Inquisitor. It spans the Empire. And even expands beyond its borders. Ears like these don't miss much. Help us, and the secrets of half of Thedas could be within your grasp.
You might be interested in what I've found. It's about Gaspard. You think Gaspard was behind the murder of that Council emissary and the Tevinter agents in the Servants' Wing?
Gaspard is ruthless. He wants the throne, but to conspire with Tevinter, that's low even for him. If you intend to stop him, you'll need irrefutable proof. His supporters will accept nothing less. Celine will never end the talks until she has no other choice. Is there something we may do for you?
We do so enjoy speaking with you. We will speak to the Empress on your behalf.
My investigations turned up something interesting. It concerns the Grand Duke. I intercepted orders to his general to sneak soldiers into the palace tonight.
How could he behave so dishonorably?
He would attack the Empress and break all the binding rules of hospitality? I thought there were more handsome chevaliers on the dance floor than there should be.
I found Gaspard's knife in the servants' quarters. It was used to murder a council emissary. His own sister told me that he intends to assassinate the Empress tonight.
You quite certain of this?
That would be treason. How scandalous!
There must be some mistake.
Do you have proof of this? Something Her Majesty can take to the nobles? You must find proof so she can arrest Gaspard. She would never call off negotiations, even to save her own life.
Good evening.
Until next time, Inquisitor.
Do take care. Enjoy the masquerade.
It is always good to see you, my friend. You seem better at making friends among the nobility than I. Well done.
I discovered something you might be interested in. It's about you, in fact. There's a Council of Heralds emissary in the servants' quarters, stabbed to death with your knife.
No. That's impossible. Who would try to pin such a crime on me? The elf? It seems unlike Celine.
I have the orders issued to your general to sneak troops into the palace.
Of course I did. The Winter Palace is hardly neutral ground for our peace talk. I would be disappointed in Celine if she were not using this opportunity to set a trap. And while we rarely agree on anything, I have never yet been disappointed in our Empress.
Thank you.
Are you all right?
I don't think I'm hurt. No one's supposed to be here. Briala said... Oh, I shouldn't have trusted her.
Briala told you to come to this wing of the palace.
Not personally. The ambassador can't be seen talking to the servants. We get coded messages at certain locations, but the order came from her. She's been watching the Grand Duke all night. No surprise she wanted someone to search his sister's room.
So this room belongs to Grand Duchess Floriane?
It used to. This had been her private room in Halam Shiral since she was a child. But this part of the palace was damaged, and the royal family moved to the guest wing.
What were you trying to find in Floriane's old room?
The message didn't say. I should have known it was a setup.
Is there anyone else who knows the code and the drop location who could have written those orders?
I don't know. Any of us could do it, but... No. No one else would send me here. It had to be Briala.
This wing is sealed. How did you get in here?
Easy. The door was unlocked. One of the others probably handled it.
It takes great courage to come to the royal wing unarmed.
It's not courage to blindly follow Briala's orders into a trap. I knew her. Before. When she was Celine's pet. Now she wants to play Revolution, but I remember. She was sleeping with the Empress who purged our alienage.
Would you be willing to testify to that, if I asked?
Absolutely. If the Inquisition will protect me, I'll tell you everything I know about our ambassador.
Most Orlesians would say that's Celine's scandal, not Briala's.
Go to the ballroom. Find Commander Cullen. He'll keep you safe.
Thank you. Make her protect you, Inquisitor.
What happened?
It's not what it looks like. Honestly, I would have preferred it if it were what it looks like. The Empress led me to believe I would be rewarded for betraying the Grand Duke. This was not what I hoped for.
You're telling me that Empress Celine left you naked and trussed like a roast duck?
Please, I beg you, don't tell Gaspard. The Empress beguiled me into giving her information about plans for troop movements in the palace tonight. She knows everything. Everything. The Duke's surprise attack has been countered before it ever began. She's turned it into a trap. The moment he strikes, she'll have him arrested for treason.
Classic, honeypot. Oh, Orlesians.
I'll protect you from Gaspard if you're willing to testify about Celine's trap.
I'll do anything. Anything.
Having fun, boss? I always enjoy canapes while surrounded by people who want to kill me.
I didn't realize you were famous. You have plenty of admirers.
I didn't know my book sold so well in Orlais. I'm going to have a chat with my publisher.
Having fun, Varric?
My brother used to throw galas like this in Kirkwall. I always tried to avoid them. I'm not much of a dancer these days.
What's happening? Anything I should know about?
To be honest, I haven't seen much. But you wouldn't expect anything to happen out in the open. Everyone is on edge, and it's not just that they're worried about the war.
We can chat later. Just wait for the signal.
Just give the word, we're ready to move.
But if I take the fox across with a second ring... No, that won't work.
Stick with it. You'll figure it out.
So many crimes of fashion.
Do you really think Briala should be given influence?
Celine has been in power long enough to expect support. If we secure her throne, she will be grateful. But such gratitude will pale beside that of one we raise up from nothing. Who is lower than the elf? If we place Briala in power, with Gaspard as her mask, her debt to us will be great indeed. And Gaspard will have the throne he has wanted. With conditions, of course. I suspect he will still find it gratifying.
I found this out. I'm not sure of its value.
We can use this.
Inquisitor? Hello?
What do you think of helping Briala take control?
Oh, you were serious. I cannot recommend it. Whatever Briala offers, she, of anyone here, has the least reason to stay loyal to us.
So, even Liliana thought this place was dangerous and you wanted to just walk in here. This party is looking up.
Inquisitor, what a pleasure. I wasn't certain you'd attend. You're such a challenge to read. I had no idea if you'd taken my bait.
I had a feeling you were mixed up in all this.
Such a pity. You could almost be Orlesian, if you were just a little quicker. It was kind of you to walk into my trap so willingly. I was so tired of your meddling. Corypheus insisted that the Empress die tonight, and I would hate to disappoint him.
Why kill the Empress? What does Corypheus want to achieve?
Celine's death is a stepping stone on the path to a better world. Corypheus will enter the Black City and claim the godhood waiting for him. We will cast down your useless maker and usher in a united world, guided by the hand of an attentive god.
You're Orlesian royalty. Why would you help Corypheus attack your empire?
You think so small, Inquisitor. Why settle for an empire when Corypheus will remake the entire world? I admit, I will relish the look on Gaspard's face when he realizes I've outplayed him. He always was a sore loser.
What exactly is in this for you?
The world, of course. I'll deliver the entire south of Thedas, and Corypheus will save me. When he has ascended to godhood, I will rule all Thedas in his name.
You don't have to go through with this, Florian. There's still time to turn back.
Oh, my dear Inquisitor, you are so naive. In their darkest dreams, no one imagines I would assassinate Celine myself. All I need is to keep you out of the ballroom long enough to strike. A pity you'll miss the rest of the ball, Inquisitor. They'll be talking of it for years. Kill her. Bring me the marked hand as proof. It will make a fine gift for the master.
Trust those tits. What was all that? Were those demons? There aren't any more of those blasted demons coming, right?
No more demons. It's safe.
Maker? I've never seen one that close before. I knew Gaspard was a bastard, but I didn't think he'd feed me to fucking horrors over a damn bill.
Duke Gaspard lured you out here.
Well, his sister. But it had to come from him, didn't it? And all that garbage she was spewing doesn't mean anything. Gaspard had to be the mastermind.
Your accent sounds Ferelden. I thought you were one of Gaspard's mercenaries.
Born and raised in Denerim. Seems like I should have stayed there. The Duke wanted to move on the palace tonight, but he didn't have enough fancy chevaliers. So he hired me and my men. He had to offer us triple our usual pay to come to Orlais. Stinking punsy cheesemongers.
Want a new job? One that pays better. The Inquisition can always use a good mercenary company.
You hiring? I'm game. Anything's better than this bullshit. You want me to talk to the Empress or the court or sing a blasted song in a chantry? I'll do it.
Thank the Maker you're back. The Empress will begin her speech soon. What should we do?
Wait here, Cullen. I'm going to have a word with the Grand Duchess.
What? There's no time. The Empress will begin her speech any moment.
We owe the court one more show, Your Grace.
Inquisitor.
I'm giving you a chance to end this peacefully. There's no need for more death. Corypheus is only using you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? You've already forgotten trying to kill me in the garden just a moment ago? You arranged for your brother to be at the ball so everyone would be watching him while you carried out your plan. So when the council emissary stumbled into the wrong room and found your assassins, you could pin the blame on Gaspard. The Empress, your brother, and the entire court all here as your guests. A tempting target for Corypheus.
This is very entertaining, but you do not imagine anyone believes your wild stories.
That will be a matter for a judge to decide, cousin.
Gaspard? You cannot believe this. You know I would never... Gaspard?
You lost this fight ages ago, Your Grace. You're just the last to find out. Your Imperial Majesty, I think we should speak in private, elsewhere.
Your sister attempted regicide in front of the entire court, Gaspard.
You're the spy master. If anyone knew this atrocity was coming, it was you.
You don't deny your involvement.
I do deny it. I knew nothing of Florian's plans. But you knew it all and did nothing.
I don't know which is better. That you think I'm all-seeing, or that you're trying so hard to play innocent and failing?
Enough! We will not bicker while Tevinter plots against our nation. For the safety of the Empire, I will have answers.
Every one of you is implicated. You all conspired to allow this to happen.
That's a bold claim, Inquisitor. Are you prepared to defend it?
You allowed the Grand Duke to sneak soldiers in, hoping he'd make a politically foolish move.
That's duplicitous, even for you, Celine.
You took the bait. I met your mercenary captain, Your Grace. He says you were ready to attack tonight.
Clever move. If you were trying to get hanged for treason.
And Briala was playing both of you. She murdered your ambassadors and sent you each forged letters.
Even if I did, you can't touch me.
No one will defend you once it's revealed that you and Celine were lovers when she burned Halam Shiral's alienage.
You've made your point. What do you want?
You are three of the best minds in the Empire. You could do so much for Orlais and your people if you stopped fighting.
It is remarkably optimistic to believe that the three of us could ever forget our differences, Inquisitor.
I cannot believe you want to make a speech. This is foolish.
We have no choice. The nobility requires an answer for what happened.
Unless you want to pretend the war was all a dream. That would go over well. No more dithering. We make the cut swift and clean. Kindest to all of us.
Lords and ladies of the court, we are pleased to announce that an accord has been reached. Our cousin Gaspard will now hold a place of honor in our cabinet.
Friends, we assembled are the leaders of the Empire. We must set the example for all Thedas. We cannot be at war with each other, while the Fade itself challenges our borders.
We must stand united or surely we will fall alone.
We will save Thedas from calamity, but only together may we accomplish this.
We will heal our wounded country. A long road of reconstruction lies before us. But tonight, we celebrate the arrival of peace. Let the festivities commence!
The Orlesian nobility make drunken toasts to your victory, and yet you are not present to hear them. Do you tire so quickly of their congratulations, Inquisitor? 'Tis most fickle, after all your efforts on their behalf.
Everyone suddenly wants to talk to me. You, at least, I'm glad to see.
Then I have happy news, as you shall be seeing a great deal more of me. By imperial decree, I have been named liaison to the Inquisition. Celine wishes to offer you any and all aid, including mine. Congratulations.
What skills do you have that would benefit us?
I have knowledge which falls beyond the realm of most mages. I suspect this is also true of Corypheus, thus it behooves you to add to your arcane arsenal, yes? Mundane knowledge will not bring the rift in the sky to a close, after all.
When you say knowledge beyond the realm of most mages, do you mean blood magic?
I know many obscure, forgotten, and forbidden arts. Some of it you might consider blood magic, yes? Should thought of that frighten you, allow me to offer reassurance. Knowledge alone does no harm. What I possess, I place at your disposal to make use of or ignore as you desire.
I had no idea you were interested in joining the Inquisition.
The assignment has been given to me, regardless of my personal interest. Celine knows you face an opponent who wields great magical power, which is far more important than her own curiosity. You will require my knowledge if you are to defeat such magic. Regardless, Corypheus is a threat to Orlais and to myself. Thus, I am not opposed to the appointment.
Welcome to the Inquisition, Morrigan.
A most gracious response. I shall meet you at Skyhold.
There you are. Everyone's been looking for you. Things have calmed down for the moment. Are you all right?
I'm just worn out. Tonight has been very long.
For all of us. I'm glad it's over. I know it's foolish, but I was worried for you tonight. I may never have another chance like this, so I must ask. May I have this dance, my lady?
Of course. I thought you didn't dance.
For you, I'll try.
Want a drink? I've a hankering for company. When I was a boy, there were these urchins who roamed the streets near my father's house. One day, they found a dog. A wretched little thing. It came to them for food. They caught it, tied a rope around its neck, and strung it up. Do you know what I did?
You stopped them? Cut the dog down?
I did nothing. Not a damn thing. It was crying. I saw the kicking legs, the neck straining and twisting. And I turned around, went inside, and closed the door. I could have told my father, or alerted someone. I didn't. I just pretended it wasn't happening.
You said you were just a boy.
I was old enough to know the dog was suffering and that it was wrong. I may as well have tied the noose myself. We could make the world better. It's just easier to shut our eyes.
Nothing worth doing is easy.
Look at you. You would have done the right thing. We're lucky there are people like you in the world. There's always some dog out there. Some fucking mongrel that doesn't know how to stay away.
Oh, my maker, you cannot imagine how many letters I've received about the fracas at Halam Shiral. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut, although it is yet bewildering at the center.
There are problems coming out of Halam Shiral.
There are always problems from Halam Shiral. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think I like this job.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor.
Inquisitor?
Can you think of any other tasks suitable for the Chargers?
A few Orlesian nobles didn't like how things ended at the Winter Palace. They're not rebelling outright, but they've brought in mercenary companies in preparation. The Chargers have a good reputation. If we go in, we can buy the companies out from underneath them. The nobles will lose the men they meant for causing trouble, and the Inquisition gets some fresh blood.
Can we talk about the Bull's Chargers?
Certainly. What can I tell you?
Have you had any other interesting jobs?
We went up against Gatler's giants in Ferelden. Not actual giants, but big guys, all wearing a dragon's weight in armor. Might as well be fighting golems. The chief challenged Gatler himself to a single combat. Gatler laughed and called him a horned savage. The chief broke a dam and flooded the valley. Last we saw of Gatler was a bunch of bubbles as we swam away.
You know I've got no problem with Orlesians, but Halam Shiral was a mess. At least under the Qun, you don't get everyone tripping on each other's dicks while the country goes to crap.
Corypheus had agents sowing dissent and muddying the waters.
That's just it. Orlais is so vulnerable. If you killed everyone in the Triumvirate, the Qun would survive unchanged. I don't know. The Qun isn't perfect, but it doesn't care what any single person wants. Orlais is full of people who care about nothing else.
One for the Empress. For Gaspard. Briala. The Duchess. And Corypheus. Right in the dangle bag.
All right, you're clearly annoyed. What can I do?
You're doing fine. It's the dead piled up in Halam Shiral that's nagging at me. A cook here, a footman there. What's it matter, right, so long as there's a book for the throne? A pretty one, sure. But how many lives are worth one Empress's arse? Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
We decided the course of a nation. I think it was worthwhile.
Right, Orlais will never be the same. Except for everything they say and do. Ugh, you know the most important thing I got out of all of that mess? The one thing. Don't sleep with Empresses. That's what that was all about. That, and Briala being an idiot. The whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots.
I didn't understand the Grand Ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
Orlesian nobles see politics as a great competition.
Yes, but none of them ever win.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably.
I'd be perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
At least there was dancing.
Or an attempt at it, anyway.
I thought you did well.
Well, I'm grateful for your poor taste in dance partners.
Is there anything I should know?
My senior officers report that the soldiers are in good spirits. Having the Imperial Army as an ally has bolstered their confidence. The Orlesian military is highly regarded. Of course, I'd wager our own recruits are equal to any chevalier.
Is there anything I should know?
Your plan is sound. We are ready to move on the Arbor Wilds when you give the word. I will see you reach the temple before Corypheus.
That's all for now.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
You don't see the Empress of Orlais almost killed in cold blood every day.
Not so brazenly, no. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
The Empress realized she was in danger.
She's always in danger. Those loyal to her should have practiced more vigilance. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
Insular cliques, snide half-truths, everyone sizing up everyone else. It reminded me of home.
I completely understand the feeling, Inquisitor. Let's hope the next ball either of our families holds is quieter than this one, shall we?
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
What can you tell me about this Corypheus?
I'm not exactly an expert, but ask away and I'll answer what I can.
He looks like some sort of blighted creature, but he speaks. What is he exactly?
The wardens who imprisoned him thought he was just a darkspawn. But you heard him ranting. He claims he's a magister. One who assaulted the Golden City, what, more than 1,000 years ago? It seems crazy, but if he's telling the truth, he's one of the people who caused the blights.
How did you first encounter him?
A few years back, I was dealing with some trouble from a Carter clan that went rogue. They were sending assassins after the Hawk family. We tracked them to a rune in the Vimarks. It turned out to be a trap. Once you went far enough into the rune, there was a magic barrier that kept you from going back. The whole thing was a prison the Grey Wardens were using to hold what they thought was a powerful darkspawn.
I've never heard of wardens locking up darkspawn. Why wouldn't they just kill him and be done with it?
I don't think they could. From what we saw in there, Corypheus can control wardens somehow. They couldn't attack him. The wardens locked him up because there was nothing else they could do.
You and Hawk both said before he was supposed to be dead.
He was dead. We killed him. The only way for us to escape the prison Corypheus was trapped in was to go through him. We weren't going to just leave the door to his prison open behind us and hope he was dead. We made sure.
All right. I think that's enough about Corypheus.
No problem.
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Shiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
I'm pleased you had a good time.
Political gambits, broken promises, half-truths. It is a palace full of motivation, and motivation is where great things happen. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally. Especially after helping her neutralize Briala.
I hope you know that I didn't turn over Briala lightly. If I'd had another option...
What? Why would I disapprove of... Oh, because we're both elves. I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
Who do you have much in common with? Who are your people?
A good question. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, I believe Briala is doing quite well on their behalf. She is an admirable woman.
She's done good work. Hopefully, with our help, she can help them even more.
Yes. However much I identify, or fail to identify, with her people, Briala's efforts have been remarkable. She organized resistance against a powerful enemy, using only her wits and the resources at hand. That demands respect, especially in a world where most would look at her and only see a pair of pointed ears.
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
That's something you'd like to do more often, then?
Watch as you twist an entire empire around your little finger. Yes, please. Of course, that leaves only Tevinter. And it wouldn't work as well there.
No. Why not?
Our dances are so much more intense. If an evening lacks a murder, we sniff and call it a ball. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
I should go.
I do rather like watching you leave.
Yes?
Anything I should know?
Celine has cemented power in Orlais. Good, we need an ally like her. At the moment, she's said to be rooting out the last of Gaspard's supporters. Once that is done, we will have a united Orlais behind the Inquisition.
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
What do you know of Morrigan?
She's changed. She used to be so disagreeable, cruel. She said things just to hurt people. Now the sharp edges have worn away. Perhaps it was Kieran. He seems so normal, like any other little boy, and so polite. Not that I was expecting anything else. I mean, never mind.
We can continue this conversation later.
You know where I am.
You're the Inquisitor. Mother never told me the Inquisitor was a mage.
That's not such a terrible thing, is it?
No, it would be worse. If you couldn't touch magic at all. Like being blind.
Kieran, are you bothering the Inquisitor?
Of course not. Did you see what's on her hand, Mother?
I did see. 'Tis time to return to your studies, little man. My son. Never where you expect him to be, naturally.
I didn't know you had a son.
Why would you? I take great pains to not let my own reputation affect him in any way. To most in the Imperial Court, he's simply a quiet and well-spoken lad, perhaps the heir of some distant family. But he goes where I go. Worry not, Inquisitor. Kieran is a curious boy, but seldom troublesome.
Will his father be joining us as well?
I have raised Kieran on my own for quite some time now, as was my preference from the start. So 'tis but the two of us, Inquisitor. Your fortress is a large place, and you will scarce notice our presence.
He seems like a fine young man.
But not the sort one might expect a woman like me to raise. No son of mine would be raised in a marsh, bereft of contact with the outside world. His future will be difficult enough without my adding to his burden. To think, until recently this place stood decrepit, occupied only by the desperate and the lost. Now it is party to events that threaten to shake the world. I wonder if it is pleased.
It sounds like you've heard of Skyhold before.
This fortress was built upon the remains of a site holy to the ancient elves. They called it Tara Salan, the place where the sky is kept. It is said that from here, they reached up to the heavens to bring them down to rest. They abandoned it, as did the humans who came after them. Bones laid upon bones, silent until your arrival.
I like this place. I've made it mine.
The magic in this place has seeped into the stones, protecting it from darkness. Those who let it fall to ruin did not know what they possessed. You, I think, shall do it justice. You were kind to welcome my aid, Inquisitor, even knowing as little of me as you do. I will do my best to aid your cause with all the knowledge at my disposal. This I swear to you.
I appreciate whatever help you can give us.
Some might think Corypheus a madman for seeking godhood. Yet one must ask, what were the old gods? What secrets of theirs did the ancient magisters know? What I fear, what all should fear, is not that Corypheus believes he can succeed. 'Tis that he actually may.
Adamant's influence continues, your worship. I submit Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, who remains loyal to Corypheus. We found him alive, offering extreme resistance, likely because the Order will ask for his head. In more colorful terms. To say nothing of justice you might personally require for what was suffered in the Fade.
Many places felt the pain of Adamant. You will answer for a great deal.
I recognize none of this proceeding. You have no authority to judge me.
On the contrary, many officials have communicated that they will defer to the Inquisitor on this matter.
Because they fear. Not just Corypheus, but Tevinter, rightful ruler of every piece of ground ye trod in your pathetic life. I serve a living god. Bring down your blades and free me from the physical. Glory awaits me.
You are the worst of us. The damage you have done is beyond all reckoning. A mage's crime, a mage's punishment. Lord Livius Eramond of Arantium, I deny you death. Tranquility.
You cannot! I am a lord, you pissants! I will not lose myself!